Great morning, great morning, great morning, great people. How are y'all doing this morning? I hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. Welcome to this morning's Bible Clarity. It is 3:43 a.m., but we finna go ahead and jump in for Genesis chapter 10. Bars? Okay, period. That was bars. Anyway, I'm back. Now I'm just tell y'all right now. I done just took a little glance at this. Some Kizzle. And I don't know who all wrote the Bible, but let me tell you these names. Padre God. Who who know my mental? Padre God. I don't know who came up with the names in the Bible, but we can't. I don't need. I was just being. I was just being an advocate because some of these names, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't know how to say them. So you just gonna have to understand. But order to it, let's get to it, cause here we go. But we gonna do our best, okay? Genesis chapter 10 this morning, y'all. Genesis chapter 10. Oh, let's do it. Let's talk about it. So, message. Thank you, Lord. This is the account of the families of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah. Many children were born to them after the great flood. The descendants of Japheth. The descendants of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The descendants of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Ripath, and Togarmah. Y'all. The descendants of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Rodanim. Their descendants became the seafaring peoples that spread out to various lands, each identified by its own language. Uh-oh, y'all, I dropped you. Clan. I'm not going to start it over, though. And national identity. Listen, y'all see what's happening this morning. That's okay. We gonna keep going. We gonna keep going. What's next? Descendants of Ham. The descendants of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sapta, Rama, and Sapteca. The descendants of Rama were Sheba and Dedan. Cush was also the ancestor of Nimrod, who was the first heroic warrior on earth. Oh, that's interesting. Since he was the greatest hunter in the world, his name became proverbial. People would say, "This man is like Nimrod, the greatest hunter in the world." He built his kingdom in the land of Babylonia, with the city of Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh. From there, he expanded his territory to Assyria, building the cities of Nineveh, Rehoboth, Ir, Kala, and Rezin, the great city located between Nineveh and Kala. Mizraim was the ancestor of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Nephtuhites, Pathrusites, Casluhites, and the Caphtorites, from whom the Philistines came. Let me just tell y'all right now, Padre God, I love you with my whole heart. Y'all know this the parts we be skipping in the Bible. That's why I'm making sure I read it. Cause y'all, I ain't crazy. Y'all done read the Bible and you just get, and it's a mo. We gonna have to read, and it's gonna be just like this. And this the part that you skip in the Bible, because you be like, man, I ain't finna read all them names. And so you don't read it. But I'm gonna be obedient. I had to put okay, I'm back. That I was just saying. Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Arv- Arvadites, Zemarites, and Hamathites. The Canaanite clan eventually spread out, and the territory of Canaan extended from Sidon in the north to Gerar, and Gaza in the south, and east as far as Sodom, Gomorrah. Well, we know what's coming. Admah and Zebulun near Lasha. These were the descendants of Ham, identified by clan, language, territory, and national identity. Wait a minute, y'all. Let me look back and see if I make sure I'm not tripping. Didn't he curse him? Yeah, see, all the Ham people, them, all Ham people. That's that. Look, that's the Amorites. There's something coming up. See, that's why. But now some of the names are important on this, y'all, because we'll find out later stories, different people that are of significance from these clans who were defeated. Now, I can remember some of these names, like the Amorites. I know they coming up again. And then, of course, Sodom, Gomorrah. We know what's going to happen with that, but we'll get there in a minute. Let's talk about the descendants of Shem. The descendants of Shem. Sons were also born to Shem, the older brother of Japheth. Shem was the ancestor of all the descendants of Eber. The descendants of Shem were Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The descendants of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. The first was named Peleg, which means division, for during his lifetime, the people of the world were divided into different language groups. His brother's name was Joktan. Joktan was the ancestor of Almadad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the descendants of Joktan. The territory they occupied extended from Mesha all the way to the Safar in the eastern mountains. These were the descendants of Shem, identified by clan, language, territory, and national identity. Conclusion. Because, baby, listen, these are the clans that descended from Noah's sons, arranged by nation according to their lines of descent. All the nations of the earth descended from these clans after the great flood. And y'all, I'm going to just say this again. This the part that was one of them chapters in the Bible that you skipped over. I know it. Why I know? Because I did. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna go back and I'm not gonna remember any of those, but well, but maybe we'll see what happens. We know a couple of them because they're important on this, but needless to say, tomorrow, we will be talking about the Tower of Babel. I think we read this just to make sure that we cover our ground like we're supposed to, okay? And lineage is important, y'all. All jokes aside, lineage is important, and it also shows, like different the descendants and how everyone actually all of us descended from um Adam and Eve, okay? And of course, Noah and all his generations have, since they were the ones that were left. Tomorrow, Genesis chapter 11. Child, look, now I ain't gonna lie. This is where the Bible starts to get good for me. Not that it wasn't good already, but one of my very favorite, we're almost to one of my very, 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 very favorite chapters in the Bible. We're almost to Genesis chapter 12. So we'll be talking about the Tower of Babel tomorrow, the Tower of Babel. Um, and remember, like the point about all these descendants and what I am gathering from this, kind of looking ahead just a little bit, because the Tower of Babel, um, talks about, well, we're not gonna go into it. We gotta wait till tomorrow, huh? Anyway, it is important to know the descendants, because then of course everyone, and it's important also to know that everyone had a different language, territory, national identity, because it gives us the identities that we all possess now, y'all. This is why we have so many different cultures and nations, and because no it was everybody was different, everybody was separate. And I don't know how all inclusive this is, but I can imagine that if all of these people and then they created their own languages and cultures and territories and identities, and it just populated the entire world. So it's where we all come from, right? Anyway, Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Y'all, hydrate your soul and things, drink your water, say your gratitude. Y'all tune in, tap in, turn up for Genesis chapter 11. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the Tower of Babel. And baby, we all to do it, okay? I love y'all in real life. I'll see y'all in the